Rob, of course, back at home in pre-season this week with Middlesbrough, the visitors on Wednesday. I mean, you mentioned it a little bit after the Blythe game in terms of them specifically, but how much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a good test for us. Obviously, they're a top team. Yeah, really good style of play. Really enjoy watching them. Watched them a lot last year. And yeah, I think it's probably good in the fact that we had that spike against Sunderland. We've obviously had the 2 games where we split the squad over, against Blythe and North Shield. So this will be sort of the first team squad coming together now. With probably the younger boys going out on loan and getting, starting to trim us down ready for the start of the season. So yeah, it's going to be a really tough game. We know that, but something that the boys should cherish and enjoy, because I thought the way they approached the Sunderland game against sort of a very good opposition, the mentality was fantastic to see that these lads, in terms of their overall play as a squad, but also individually, that they could cope with the level and still produce and play good football. And that's all I want to see. Just don't really care about the score. It's pre-season. I want to see us implement in and out of possession what we've been working on, and I want to see that confidence and understanding and bravery to play against a very good team.
Yeah, and you mentioned Middlesbrough in the sense of them being a very good team there. What kind of sort of challenge are you expecting, really? Is it a different one to what you have faced so far in terms of what you're looking to get out of the game itself? Yeah,
I think so. I think it's probably going to be, there's going to be 2 sides to it. Can we play against a very good championship side? Can we implement our style of play and our patterns, and can we control the football in the areas we want to? Can we affect their back line ultimately? Can we threaten them and score goals? But then on the flip side, without the ball, can we limit them? Can we, what's the right word? Can we dictate where they have the ball and how they have the ball, and are we able to press to get it back? I think that would be the big message to the boys. And I think next year we want to be a bit more aggressive, and we want to be able to press in certain areas, and Middlesbrough will find ways through that, and we're happy with that, but we want to really test the limits and see where our boundaries are and where the levels are at, so we can move forward after that.
Yeah, and do you feel like off the back of the pre-season games that you have had thus far that you're starting to get a bit of a clearer picture even in terms of the squad and where lads are at compared to other boys? Not maybe just in terms of fitness, but in terms of getting used to the way you play and all the patterns and everything and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think the lads who have come in, we obviously target lads that do have that good understanding of style of play and possession-based football. Will McGowan, you'd think he'd have been here for the last 3 or 4 years really, so that's a positive. And the young lads who've come in have really stepped up, and they've actually added to the squad and the depth, and we're excited to see how their journeys go. But yeah, I think the big thing is we want to be as clean as possible, and we want to be able to add layers to what we've already built on. We don't want to take 2 steps back to go forward. We want to stay where we are and try and add an extra dimension to our play. But we'll see. It's early days, and there's going to be lots of ups and downs and mistakes and changes and personnel. So yeah, we'll just take it one game at a time, and we're aiming for that first game and against Ebbsfleet, and I think we're all of the understanding that just the first game of the season isn't going to define our season. It's just the first stepping stone on a long journey till May next year.
Yeah, and in terms of how some of the boys are looking, of course, a couple of lads in Ben Werman and Greg Ollie have sort of missed recent games. I don't think it's through anything hugely serious, but what's the sort of situation with them at the minute?
Yeah, Wermo just sort of clunked his toe. Can't really describe it any other way. He wasn't sure, just sort of had an issue with his toe, but we're just sort of resting that. He'll be back hopefully in the next week or so training. Greggy just landed awkwardly in training, broke his hand, so luckily it's just his 5th metacarpal, and he just needs a couple of weeks to let it settle, and then he can strap it and he should be fine. So it's nothing that's anything to worry about, but it probably does mean that we are a bit lighter in areas, especially in the midfield area. So in terms of recruitment, we're looking to strengthen those areas, and also in others as well, because I think with the 5 subs next year, we spoke to the boys about that today, with the 5 substitutes next year being able to come onto the pitch, and the relentlessness of the league and also the intensity we want to play at, we're going to need to maximise the sort of 16 players that will be able to enter the pitch at any time. So yeah, we need to make sure that everyone's as fit as possible, and also everyone's ready at any point, because whether you come on to win the game or whether you start to break teams down, it's all just as important.
Yeah, and you mentioned recruitment there as well. Is that still very much an ongoing process at the moment?
Yeah, very much so. It's frustrating. When you're at the bottom of the food chain, you have to rely on 3-4 things and other side of things, and it is what it is, and it makes the job enjoyable, because I think we've always said when someone walks through the door, we target them, we want to bring them in, and I think the fact that they want to come and play for this club is a huge thing, because I think that's 80% of the battle. Because if they're someone we want to bring in, we know that they can play our way, they know they'll add to the group, they'll add to the squad. But the fact that they want to be here, and they want to come in, and they want to, take another step in their career with us, I think that's the biggest telling tale for me, because it shows that what we're trying to do and what they want to do and how they want to develop all aligns. And I think that's once you get someone through the door, not only is it because they're a good player, but it's because they want to be at Gateshead. And I don't think that can be underestimated in terms of what the players have done already. This group of lads and the way they've set the culture, and then also players coming in to add to it.